Alright everybody, welcome back to the Simple Markets channel. My name is JB, and as always, we are here in the Simple Markets community with a few payouts showing on the screen. This one was sent just the other day, and this one was sent this morning. Now, as you could tell probably by the title, today my goal is not to just go over payouts and trading, but more specifically my exact path that I would help people get towards financial freedom if they are entering the trading space and brand new. And more importantly, I really want to explain how heavily the Simple Markets community pushes this kind of topic. Because I'll be honest, guys, we don't only try to teach people how to make a few $1,000s, because yes, that may be life-changing to some of you, but it is not going to move the needle in the long term. You need to know what to do with this capital and how to expand yourself as a person, as an investor, and where to put capital like this to ensure that 5, 10 to 20 years, Simple Markets in the community will have an impact on you outside of just making some funding payouts. We have entire sections dedicated to this where I have an entire 50-page document on personal finance with all sorts of topics like you're seeing on the screen now, even down to things like LLCs, starting a business, choosing brokerages, stocks, diversification. This to me is far more important than the topic of funding or trading, because the amount of students I've had that join the community and right away from getting their personal finances in check see a tangible improvement in their month-to-month income or their long-term savings and assets, which really will move that needle in the long term. So without further ado, I have a slideshow for you today. We're going to dive a little bit into that and I'll talk about each topic. So let's get right into it. So here we are with the slideshow. Now, keep in mind, guys, I trade, I invest, I have other businesses. I am not an artist. Just really want to get that out of the way here before you guys make fun of me for the quality of my slideshow. But step one here is really going to be lifestyle. Now probably 50% of you clicked off this video at this point, but I genuinely am speaking to the people that are essentially starting from zero here. If you do not have the fundamentals in check, I promise trading or business or investing will not be sustainable for you. All of these, at the end of the day, it's not about schedule, it's not about diet, it is about discipline. And if you do not have discipline for things like investing every day, getting yourself on the charts every morning at the same time, setting your orders every single day, consistently investing into your personal trading account, these things are all disciplines at the end of the day. And if you have none, you need to start from square one, which in my opinion would be a schedule. When I was on what you could call my come up, I guess, I was waking up at 4:30, 7 days a week with a weekend job. Every single day without missing a day, I would wake up at 4:30, I would get home and shower, I would eat breakfast, and I would hop on the charts for trading and learning. It does not have to be that extreme for you. It is not one size fits all, but the easiest thing that you can do is set a schedule every single day regarding sleep and even the tasks that you should be completing day to day. Now, for example, I would go to bed every day at 9 p.m. I would wake up every day at 4:30 a.m. I would be on the charts to trade by 8 a.m. New York session open. This is just an example, but it's a rough schedule and you need one for yourself to keep yourself disciplined, but also you will eventually get into what I call autopilot mode, where I woke up at 4:30 and I didn't think twice. I was just getting into my workout clothes. It became a habit and such a routine that I didn't even question it and my body just started doing it. Number two is going to be fitness. Now, this is massive from a discipline perspective. I promise this is the biggest thing, in my opinion, over the course of my 6 years of self-improvement that has made the largest change for me. My students know every single day I am sending metrics of my workout that day. I'm usually sending my breakfast or lunch to give them an idea of my meal and diet. It not only holds me accountable, but it does give that motivation for some of them to lock in themselves. I highly, highly recommend joining the gym, gaining that discipline, and you will see massive changes in your mindset. In following that, typically things like diet will fall into place. Now, this doesn't mean a diet like you have to cut out fats or whatnot. This just means that if you're someone who's very thin and you want to put on weight, maybe start eating a certain way. If you're someone who's really big and wants to lose weight, maybe start eating another type of way. It's not about counting calories. It's not about all of the intricacies of a diet or these fad diets. It's about just something sustainable. If you need to gain weight, maybe try eating something like peanut butter more or high-fat foods that'll help you put the weight on. If you need to lose weight, maybe a small change like losing out that first meal of the day and trying to push yourself till noon for your first meal, known as intermittent fasting. Just minor changes, guys, to keep it sustainable. And last but absolutely not least is knowledge. Continuously learning to self-improve. I myself, one easy, tangible trick you can do right now every single day when I am in my car. I do not really listen to music anymore. I put on a podcast, whether it's a trading podcast, an investing one, business, finance, real estate. I listen to podcasts every single day, and I promise that small change will compound into massive knowledge and learning and even motivation in the longer term. Now, the next one here is going to be more finance related. Now, in my opinion, there is kind of an order of operations here. If you are someone who is very young watching, I've spoken with some subscribers who are 15, 16. My best recommendation would be getting a job as soon as you can, even if that means a weekend job. And for those of you watching with maybe a full-time job, but you need to get yourself a form of income. Now, listen, guys, I know you may want to go online and see all these start your side hustle in 30-day videos and start making thousands of dollars a month in 30 days. This is not what this is about. Once again, while I was on my journey, I worked at a multitude of weekend jobs ranging from everything from Dunkin' Donuts when I was in high school all the way up to bartending or even personal training. The goal is to get yourself some income in your pocket and then start saving up that income for what I would call an emergency fund. Now, this is just something very common among many financial advisors. They'll tell you this, but 3 to 6 months of your expenses in an emergency fund of cash set aside. That is step one, and that would be your main tangible goal. And when you finally do reach that number, give yourself a pat on the back because you are actually ahead of the vast majority of people when it comes to their personal finance. Once again, like I said, this is 3 to 6 months of cash savings. You can go ahead and put that in your savings account if you want. You can also throw it in a money market account if you get a little bit more interest on it. But last but not least is continuing to save and increasing that margin on savings, maybe cutting down on the little things, starting a budget, whatever you can do to keep more money in your pocket by the end of the month. Now, after doing these three, I do want to talk about another form of income, which of course all of you here know, and that is going to be funding. There's kind of 3 buckets of students that I work with. I would consider one to be not funded and not capitalized, meaning you don't have much money to your name right now. The next one would be for people who are working full-time or even weekends where you are not funded and capitalized. And then the last one, of course, is just those students who are already funded and they're just working on scaling. Speaking to those over in this section here, if you are not funded and not capitalized, the first thing I can recommend is really try to get your capital up with that income we talked about, whether that means starting a weekend job or working on saving a little bit more to set more money aside for prop firm evaluations. But the goal in this section here is speed. Speed to funding is critical because there's an opportunity cost that a lot of people miss out on. They try to buy one challenge, they try to climb their way with small risk up and up and up over 4 to 5 months to finally get funded. If you are profitable, like most of our students in the community, you are actually better off focusing on speed to funding by increasing your risk of, say, 1.5% per trade within the challenge than you would be risking 0.5% and just making sure you don't blow that challenge. Let's just say an evaluation fee is $100. If you stretch that $100 out for 4 to 5 months by using 0.5% risk and slowly trying to climb your way to profitability and eventually get funded, you have missed out on 4 to 5 months. When I know a lot of traders who will take that $100, buy a challenge in their first month, risk 1.5 to 2%, they might lose that first month challenge. They might try it again next month, and what do you know? They get funded because they had a second try at it. Now they've spent $200 in total, but by month 2 or 3 even, they are able to go and get their first payout and make up for that. Compared to the person who spent $100 on month 1, 4 months, 5 months of this challenge goes by, they haven't even made money yet, and then they maybe even find themselves losing that challenge at the end of the 4 to 5 months, and that opportunity cost is completely wasted and you are significantly behind. Increase that risk if you need to, focus on the pass or fail, set a small amount aside each month like we talked about in the previous slide, and I promise you will not only get funded faster, but you can put some money in your pocket quicker, and that brings you to our capitalized. Now, if you are not funded, but you do have capital, whether you work a full-time job or you have that weekend job I talked about, the best recommendation I can give to you is actually buying multiple of these prop firm evaluations at once and then splitting the trades within your strategy amongst the different accounts. For those of you that watch my channel, you know that we trade many different trading pairs and many trades can pop up per week. If I have 6 trades on the Monday that I am seeing and ready to set 6 orders on my account, you're actually mathematically better off splitting that between 3 accounts and doing 2 trades, 2 trades, and 2 trades on 3 different accounts. This actually not only mitigates the amount of drawdown that you'll see on the account, because if all 6 trades lose, you're only at negative 2% on all the accounts, but it increases your chances of winning by distributing the probability amongst the 3 accounts, and you only need 2 to 3 winning trades depending on obviously your risk and your strategy to pass that evaluation. We have a lot of students running this method. It is going to be your highest probability of passing, although you will have to have a little bit more capital up front to buy the multiple evaluations. And last but not least is actually just scaling. Now, this one here is kind of a combination of both, to be fair, but it more leans on this exact method I talked about. Your goal, if you're scaling, would be to buy multiple accounts once again, increase that risk and keep it high, focus on the speed to pass or fail, And we have students, like we saw in the beginning of this video, utilizing this strategy and scaling easily and very quickly up to max allocation with FTMO. And we have more than a few students who are up to $1 million or more with different prop firms. So now you not only learned about income and saving, you not only learned about how to increase your income through funding, but the last most important aspect is going to be investing. Now the key here is to diversify. It is not one size fits all. You're not going to choose one of these three. I would highly recommend all three, but step one is going to be your basic investing in the stock market. Now this is something like the S&P 500. Throw away a certain amount per month, whatever you are comfortable with. And honestly, I would recommend automating it. You can simply go to your broker. You can have it take out $200 or $500 or $1,000 a month, whatever you feel comfortable, and have it directly deposited into something like the S&P 500. Start your brokerage account today, understand how to use it, and start putting a small amount away before you can continue scaling up and getting more comfortable with putting larger amounts. Number two is going to be obviously trading and funding. This is what we all do here. I would highly recommend taking money and setting it aside into a personal Forex broker. This helps you build your personal trading account because honestly, funding and prop firms may not be around for too much longer. There's lots of regulations coming into play. I won't dive into that this video. I actually have a past video on that. But starting your personal trading account or putting more money into prop firm evaluations, this is also another form of investing because at the end of the day, you're investing in yourself to increase your income. Last but absolutely not least, I would really recommend starting a business. I know it's scary for some people. I know some people have a bad connotation with business because there can be risk involved. But out of all of the ROI here, which is your return on investment, this is going to be a landslide on the largest ROI you can get out of these three. You obviously can make more personally trading Forex than you can in the stock market long term, or else people wouldn't even bother actively trading. But when it comes to business, it is exponential and honestly infinite the amount of ROI that you can achieve. Many of you here may know that I work in real estate. I started my real estate business maybe 4 years ago, and all it took was a simple small investment of about $3,000, which as you guys saw at the start of the video is literally what our students are making from prop firm payouts monthly. Business does not have to be something where you invest $50,000 or $10,000. It doesn't have to be a crazy large scalable income. But I promise you that starting one will not only show you growth in your knowledge and all around becoming a well-balanced entrepreneur and financial expert, but it will be the largest multiplier to your net worth and your overall income if you find something that you have interest in and start a business around it. Hope you guys appreciated the slideshow. The main takeaway from this video is understanding that it is not all about trading here. Especially in the Simple Markets community, we really try to push the understanding of personal finance and investing. I love seeing the thousands of dollars our students are making per month with their prop firm payouts and the certificates, but I love even more when they start sending information on their investments and asking me questions on how they can make that money work for them longer term. Ignore your social media, guys. Delete those Instagram pages that are showing you Lamborghinis and watches. That is not the goal in your first few years. That is not the kind of wealth we're trying to build here. Obviously, as always, if you guys have any questions about personal finance at all, feel free to reach out to me. I can even share that 50-page document I made with you if you want. But thank you all, as always, for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. Like the video if you learned something today and enjoy this type of content. And I will see you guys in next Monday's video.